Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome to episode 5 of City Skylines. We've just got our achievement for reaching a population of 5,500 people, which has unlocked some nice new things for us to play around with. One of the first things that I am considering doing is purchasing an oil power plant, because we're at the point where we have some problems with our power. We're not totally out of power at the moment, but we're right on the cusp of it. So instead of building lots of little power plants that aren't going to be all that useful, we're going to take a look at our new shiny oil power plant. Now let's compare that up with the coal plant. So it costs more than double the amount of money to build. The upkeep between them is sort of 4 times as high. It does create a bit of pollution and noise pollution, although actually less than the coal power plant, but it puts out 3 times the amount of power, and obviously it's not going to take up quite as much space. I think what we could probably do is get rid of that wind turbine completely, to be honest. Let's go ahead and remove that, and we will put in the oil power plant down there in its place. So that should solve a few of our power problems. Now we still have this problem here, mainly because this road is letting a lot of people off. So what I think I'm going to do, while I can see more buildings burning down, is I'm going to build another road, and again we'll probably make this one... We'll probably make this road one way. We'll also try and reduce some of the pollution by making it one with a verge. And we'll run it from... We'll make it a free road. We'll run it from over here. This probably isn't going to solve the problem, by the way. If anything, it's just going to make it worse. But it gives me an excuse to mess around with roads a little bit. We'll bring that over here and just smash through these houses if we can. Can we do that? Yes, we can. So now that that's one way, it should give some people the opportunity to get off here and head down in this direction. Having it with the grass doesn't help an awful lot when it's raised, does it really? Because the only bit that has grass is this bit down here next to the commercial. Doesn't look like many people are using that to get off. I wonder where all these vehicles are actually heading to. Let's just have a look at one of them. Returning to facility. Do we know which facility? Yeah, see, most of these all just appear to be part of the industrial. And they all seem to be, or at least the vast majority seem to be coming from this direction here. Maybe it's also worthwhile, just as an experiment that is, having another slip road that comes from here and just literally feeds straight in to the industrial area. Because you do often see that. You've got little slip roads that lead in off the motorways into the back of industrial sites. And there you can see, look, we've already got some of the lorries actually using those slip roads to go straight into the industrial area. If he now turns right and starts heading back towards the motorway, I'm going to laugh. But yeah, we are having some traffic issues here right now. They are on traffic lights though, so that is understandable. We'll try and alleviate the traffic as much as possible. Of course, I knew it was all going to mess up, so there's nothing to be surprised at there. The landfill, as far as I can tell, is full. Says the building is emptying, but it's 84% full. What's going on at our other landfill? You are 29% full. So, there we go, got my key stuck there for a second. We need more water over here, but can we go and get an incinerator now? No, we need 8,000 people for an incinerator. That's actually quite ridiculous, but we'll leave it to see what happens. Something might happen. We don't need that. We do need water over here, though. We're not getting any water, so let's go ahead and make sure that we have pipes that go over here. That should solve those problems. Well, it's not solving these problems, is it? Let's go and connect that up all the way down here. Bit of crossover, but that will be fine. So it seems to be that the garbage is the biggest problem at the moment. Also, our water availability and sewage treatment is at the point where it is starting to struggle. That's not too much of a problem. We can put another water pumping station here and connect it to the one that already exists. That will be fine. And we can then go and get another outlet pipe, and the outlet pipe can go over here next to the one that's already there. And that should pretty much instantly double our capacity. Might take a little while for that to tick through. Let's go back up to game speed 3. I wasn't aware that it had dropped down. Are these buildings connected up? Ah, they actually have to be directly connected to the pipe, not just the in the area. So that should connect up. That is fine. And we will do the same with this one. Let's just spin the camera around to make it a little easier. It's a little bit deceptive sometimes because some buildings just need to be within the blue catchment area, but these actually need to be directly connected to the main pipeline. But that's fine, that's sorted those problems out, so hopefully people's toilets aren't going to be backing up because that's probably going to make them leave. A lot of people complaining about the trash. There's not much I can do about that other than building more landfill sites. What's going on over here? What are these little icons representing? Difficult to tell. Maybe it means there's not enough educated workers. Yeah, so I think we need to get some more schools and things around. Let's go ahead and get ourselves... we'll get another elementary school because we do already have a high school around. But we don't have much in the way of education around here. We could go ahead and drop the school in on one of these spots. That'll certainly make people a little happier. So let's go ahead and do that. There's definitely plenty of elementary school availability and plenty of high school availability. So if people actually use the schools, there wouldn't be too much of a problem. It's not that we've got a lack of them. But yeah, trash is definitely the problem, and we've got people moving out, which is problematic. We are making decent money, though. In fact, we're making loads of money. So much so, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the budget panel, and I'm going to lower the taxes. I'm going to put quite a significant tax cut on residential because we want people moving in. We've also got a very high demand for residential as well, which is strange because we've got people moving out, yet we've still got people wanting residential. So let's go ahead and build some more residential area over here, or should we build some more down here? I guess we could use some of this area for residential. So let's go in with our single roads. We're going to use, because we're making so much money, we're not making quite as much now. In fact, I might need to put that up a little bit, but we're trying to get people to move back in. Let's go ahead and use some of these nicer roads that have the trees, because they will increase the land value. Let's use the sort of curve tool and see what we can do. I'm just going crazy now. I'm like completely avoiding wherever possible using straight roads and just building grids, because building grids is just becomes boring. So let's go ahead and connect that up, and then I guess we could potentially mow down a lot of this commercial, but I don't want to. But we could go through here and just connect straight up over there. That would be fine. So that gives us a little bit more residential. Definitely need to sort this trash problem out. It's terrible. Again, we'll use the brush tool because it'll be slightly quicker due to the amount of space. I'm going to connect water to these people as well, because I don't think we have water going all the way through here. So let's get all that painted in. I might save a little bit next to the road there for... Do I want this to be commercial? We don't have a huge call for commercial, although there is a little bit. Oddly enough, hardly any call for industry at all at this point. Let's get those filled in, including that one, and that one. So you go away. These can be commercial. Brilliant. Yeah, look at the rubbish now. It's terrible. I think that's the biggest part of our problem. And, wow. What's going on over here? Something terrible's happening. So these buildings are all abandoned, and I don't know why. Maybe it's the trash problem. So let's go ahead and invest in another landfill. Which is not ideal, but we really need to solve the problem. So we'll go ahead and put this landfill site here. It's going to create a little bit of unhappiness, but no one's managing to get their garbage collected, and it's definitely causing some problems. We're losing people. We got up to 5,500 people at one point, and we've actually lost a lot of it now. All of these buildings have been abandoned. We need to... oh, that one wasn't abandoned. My apologies. We need to get rid of these so that people can come and build up some industry again. That one looks abandoned, although it's not giving me the icon. So let's get rid of all these abandoned buildings. It does look like some of them actually try to rebuild on their own. This one's abandoned, that one's abandoned. Yep, still a lot of people having problems with their trash collection. There's some more abandoned ones there. Wow, we are getting a lot of people moving out. That one burned down. This one looks like they're dying from the plague or something. That's an interesting icon. What's going on here? A dead person is waiting for transport. Delightful. We've also got some garbage problems going on up here. Right, this is probably causing a little bit of problem because people from the landfill can't get in here. So if we have ourselves another one-way street running from here, and can we do a curved street? If we sort of run this one over there, and then the landfill crew should be able to work their way in that direction because they can come out there and turn right. And hopefully these people will get all of their trash collected. Now, what about this new area that I built that doesn't have water? We need to go and sort that out. Some of it has water, actually. So it's not too terrible. We're already getting some abandoned residences, which isn't great. There we go. Mainly the problem does seem to be trash, and I'm not sure why. Maybe that needs a tweak. I think having to have 8,000 population before you can get an incinerator is maybe a little bit of an ask. But let's go into the budget panel. Let's go to our garbage collection and let us put a lot of extra money in there. We'll put it up to as high capacity as we can. I think I'm going to go back to the taxes and just raise them a little bit. 9 is the default. And there's more of a demand for commercial now than anything else. But hopefully we'll start getting some population back. A lot of empty buildings there. So let's go ahead and once again do a little bit of housekeeping. It's difficult to know which of the buildings you're clicking on. Apparently we've got a lot of dead people, or a lot of ill people. That's very worrying. Is there some sort of plague that's broken out in my city? I thought we were doing okay as far as hospitals were going and stuff like that. Let's get rid of these. So, first things first, let's go ahead and get ourselves a hospital. We definitely need one because people seem to be dying all over the place. You are going to go there. Nice big hospital, deal with all the dead people, deal with all the dying people, and hope that sorts things out. New building. We still have really low crime. I don't think we need the police at the moment. Fire, however, having a fire station is not a bad idea. And putting you over here on this main road is probably terrible, but that's where we're going to put you anyway. So we do have a nice big new shiny fire station now. So yeah, we're getting a lot of people who are just dying for no apparent reason. Is it a health issue? So the average health is good. Ah, is it death care? Crematorium availability has no capacity. We only have one crematorium, which is over here. Well, this is a cemetery. Deceased stored 310 of 3,000. So there's plenty of space in the cemetery. Obviously, we don't have a crematorium, but we do have a cemetery. So where do we get the crematorium from? Is that something that's under healthcare? It probably is. Yeah, we don't have a crematorium yet, so we probably don't need one yet. What do you need to get that? 18,000 population. Yeah, we're a long way away from getting that. So I'm not sure why all these people are dying off, because we are at sort of the high end of the health scale. There's clearly something else going on that I'm missing here. Everyone has water and electricity. Maybe it's just some sort of weird plague going around that I'm unaware of. Let's try and get rid of these abandoned buildings where we can. Because it does make people happier if you get rid of the abandoned buildings. There's another one. A couple more in the industrial area. Quite a few in the industrial area, actually. That's one and that's one. There's another one over here. Yep, this is definitely not the city to live in, I think. It seems like it's a little bit hazardous for your health. Cemetery is needed. Make sure there is enough hearses so that they can reach the building and transport the dead back to cemeteries and crematoriums. Death care is linked to healthcare services, so take a look at its info to gain more detailed information. So it looks like we do need more cemeteries. Let's go ahead and get another cemetery or two. There's no reason not to. We can have one over here. That'll make people a little happier. We seem to be getting a lot of dead people on this end of town, so let's go ahead and put another cemetery here. The big problem, of course, may be that because our roads are getting in a bit of a state, it's just difficult for people to actually reach them with transport-wise. We shall see. Let's get rid of some of these nasty, dilapidated buildings. We'll also go into the budget panel and we will put a little bit more money into healthcare. Now, healthcare is quite expensive and we don't want to break ourselves by putting all the money that we have into healthcare. Power, we're probably quite over capacity at the moment. Indeed we are. So what we're going to do is we will click on the right screen for a start. And we'll go and put the power budget down to something like 85%. That's probably still more than enough. I will keep my eye on it and check it again in a moment. No water at the crematorium. That is, well, the cemetery. It's only just out of reach, but we can do that. And we can also go across here. Now, I said before, I would like to do the oil industry. We don't have a lot of call for the oil industry at the moment. Well, we don't have a lot of call for any industry. Looks like we've still got some people dying. I'm now in the wrong screen. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. It does seem like a lot of the little death and ill icons have disappeared, which is a nice thing. There's still a few of them around. But it does seem like a lot of that issue has been solved. And a lot of the garbage issues have now disappeared. So that is a good thing all around. So let's go ahead and see if we can't have some of this oil industry. Let's see again where it is. Mainly right here behind the crematorium, behind the cemetery. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a 4-lane sort of road. This is the curved road, but we will sort of move it through here. And then we'll carry on going that way, I suppose. Let's use a straight road. And then from that, we can branch off with our smaller roads. Can't quite see the grid lines in there, but that's fine. I know this is not an economical use of space, but it doesn't really matter. And we'll just connect that down to there. That's fine for now. And I think what we will do is... I'm not sure how this works exactly, so I'm experimenting here. We are going to make this industrial. It will need power and water and everything. I completely appreciate that. But we're going to make all of this industrial area. Everywhere that we can zone, up to about there. And we are going to then zone this as... oil industry. So I think we have to paint the zone first. So let's go ahead and paint that zone. And then this is going to be oil industry and click. It's now telling it that that is oil industry. We also need to make sure that this is general industry, which is this one here. So this should be generic industry. Oh, we're on the wrong one, aren't we? Dale Heights, generic industry. And Victoria Hills. No, we've just made it. There we go. That's fine. So if you click on that, it removes it. So it's generic industry by default. That's fine then. We do need to make this area a little bit bigger though, I've just noticed. So let's go ahead and make sure that we encapsulate all of that. A few more abandoned buildings. Definitely getting a few of them. A lot of places burning down. At least the road here doesn't appear to be getting quite as clogged. There's still a fair bit of traffic coming in, but I think we've alleviated most of it. Remember, we can actually look at our road usage, and we can see that this area of town is absolutely ridiculous. Also, this slip road, people leaving the motorway, is making things quite busy. I think mostly because they're all trying to go down and off and over here. What I might be able to do to help alleviate that is... it might work. Who knows? If we make a one-way road from here and just sort of take... yeah, I know you don't like that I've just built a road next to your house, but there's not an awful lot that I can do. Just sort of connect that in that way. Yes, you're going to be unhappy about it. I don't blame you. I would be too. But I'm just trying to alleviate some of the traffic problems. You'll thank me for it eventually. And we can go ahead and we can give them something like a small playground, or maybe the people that are upset, we can just go and destroy their houses. I mean, whatever works. There you go. The people that still have a house, they're happy. So nobody minds. Let's get rid of all these things. We can just click that and they'll go away. So I'm hoping some of these people will just turn off there instead of all queuing up for the main road. Some of them are, not all of them. Most of them do seem to be going the long way around, but oh well, we'll just have to deal with that. Zoning again. Let's just have a look. Everything is encompassed there. Of course, we've got no water or electricity over here yet, have we? So let's go ahead and deal with that. Do we actually have power over here at the landfill? Does the landfill even need power? I'm going to assume that it does. It hasn't come up and... Does it need power? We'll have a look at that in a moment. The industry definitely needs power, so let's go ahead and put power lines over there. Let's also go ahead and make sure that we have the water lines heading out in this direction, because it definitely needs water. Maybe there. Yep, there we go, and then we can go down that road. Okay, so let's just click off everything. Let's have a look at this place. It says it's operating normally, so it doesn't look like that it actually needs any power, so that's fine there. There we go. Now we've actually started to get some buildings appear. Now, they still don't have any power because they're kind of building on the wrong side of the road, to be honest. But no, we've actually started to get some pop-up now, so these will all get power once they start to form. So that's fine. So we should actually get some oil industry over here if this works. And indeed we are. Look, we're actually getting oil pumps. Even though they don't have any power, they're still managing to pump, which is very impressive. So we'll leave it a little while and just see if any of these buildings spread before we start moving the power cables around. But I think we're going to be okay. So how are things doing? We're up to 7,000 people now. We're making 4,000 bucks a week, which is fantastic. Do we still have a loan? We haven't quite paid our loan off yet, but we have so much money in the bank. Let's go and pay that off. So we now have no debt, and we have 170,000 credits in the bank. We could go ahead and buy another area, which we almost definitely will do, but I think we'll do that in the next video. This landfill site is completely full, so there's not a lot that we can do with that one. And that was one of the that was the new one as well, I think. Yeah, I think one just empties into the others. I suppose that makes sense if you've only got one incinerator, that you just move it all to the one that has the incinerator. But that's something that we'll deal with on the next video. So, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are still enjoying City Skylines, and I'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye for now.